How was the summer, everyone? It's
Great,
good.
great, yes.
Good. It looks like that summer is continuing. We're going to be in the 80s this week also. So let's continue enjoying it before the cold comes in. All right. So we all have the agenda, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we have the motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Any more?
I, Audrey De Jesus, motion to
Any more
accept
agendas?
the minutes.
Any more agendas?
Yeah.
Any discussion of the motion?
I second that.
All right.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Passes. Okay, so on the agenda here, we have new business, new board member. We can introduce ourselves first so we know we are again. My name is Gary. I'm vice chair of Municipal Services. All right.
My name is Karen Chamorro. I'm a board member.
Robert Bars, new board member.
Dawn Cacao, a reporter with the Mott Haven Herald.
My name is Hayden Dodson with the Mott Haven Herald as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Valerie Davis O'Neill, New York City Parks. I'm from Chesenia Conti's office, the Bronx Borough Commissioner.
I'm Cherry Salazar, also with the Mott Haven Herald.
Oh, Portia Wilson, committee member.
Anthony Jordan, District Manager of the Board, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Good evening.
Audrey De Jesus, chair of the LGBTQ and board member.
Mr. Chairman, if I may remind the audience, all of our meetings and this committee meeting is being broadcast live on the Community Board Planning One's channel. Please either vibrate or turn off all electronic devices so that we can ensure that we have, and make sure you speak elevated and clearly so that the device is up. You can sign on to our Facebook, Instagram, and other social media accounts. This Google BX of Community Board #1. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, we have a district assessment.
Yes.
Okay.
So may I?
Sure.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again where the community board, one of our most important roles and the roles of the district manager working in conjunction with the community board is to provide annual community district needs processing. This is especially important for this committee because this committee oversees several important agencies: the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation, the New York City Department of Transportation, the New York City Police Department, and many other municipal agencies and services. And so what I provided a brief PowerPoint presentation with a 2-pager that talks about what the district needs assessment is. It definitely, what it does is it helps to highlight on a district level, because we oversee or we represent Port Morris, Mott Haven, and Melrose sections of the Bronx. It helps to understand or help the city understand what our main important priorities, budgetary-wise and agency-wise, the community board recommends the agency should be focusing on. For example, if we look at streetlights that are outside that are in the area, how does that happen? Why do those streetlights end up there? It all starts here at the community board. And then from the community board, it goes to the next level to our Bronx Borough President's Office and the Bronx Borough Board, and along with the Bronx Borough President's Office and the Bronx Borough Board, which consists of the community board, our local city council members, and the borough president, makes the recommendations to the mayor. This is extremely important because, yes, we have the 311 system where it makes complaints about this is too noisy, this area is too dark, this traffic light is too slow, this area needs a bus station, et cetera, et cetera. That's well and good, but the priorities of the district start with these conversations. So, Mr. Chairman, I wanted this to remind that with this process, it's a very speedy process. It goes until at least sometime in mid-October, so that's why it's so fast. But it is time for now, between now and October, where you, ladies and gentlemen, you in YouTube land, will start making recommendations to this committee and every committee on this community board, including the district manager, through email, through signing on to the district needs assessment survey that we have on our website and on our Instagram and so on, about what are major priorities that we as community board should be focusing on. The community board votes on those priorities, and then those go into a nice little pretty document, tied it hopefully in a nice bow, and then we send it off to our colleagues, the borough president's office, where we discuss those priorities. They go from everywhere from mostly capital needs assessments. So, like I said, resurfacing the streets, where bus stations go, where traffic lights need to be at, where different needs are, more police officers, more emphasis on playgrounds. Parks Department is always looking for extra resources whatsoever, where playgrounds are, where we need to make sure our schools are operating and having better auditoriums or other needs for our young people. These are all main important priorities that this community will be focusing on, and the steps that take place are extremely important. So please sign on to nyc.gov/Bronx Community Board number 1, or please email the district manager at bx01@cb.nyc.gov. It is the website that's on our letterheads and everywhere else, and we constantly get emails, or you could email Stephen and I and let us know what are important. But we believe everything is important, so this gets straight down to multiple important things, but three major things are usually the priority in the list of things that we come out of. So I appreciate each of you Mr. Chairman, for giving me the time to chat about this, but this is one of the most important roles of this community board. And so I ask you to please take the time out to review the document that Gabe submitted. And there will be a training or a video that we will broadcast at our next community board meeting that will show the whole process of how this takes place. But this is extremely important role of this community board, and especially this committee, because as you know, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, this committee, like I said, oversees many of the municipal services. This starts from here going forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Also, I'd like to also emphasize on the fact that we need to call 311. It's very important. Our community is in dire need of a lot of things. The city of New York, the city government functions based on numbers. There is no number, it's not important. So if we can't do anything, let's try to call 311 for anything that we feel needs to be done in our community. Statistic has shown that the South Bronx does not call 311. We do not do that. But we complain to our neighbor, to our friend, but the friend is in the same boat as you are. If you call 311, there's a trace of it, there's a record of it. And then the government responds to it because those are elected officials. So they're looking for something to do. And I was just talking sometime this summer, I happened to meet elected official with some community member. I was just talking, they don't even know who's elected official in the neighborhood is. And this is kind of disconnect that we have. And that's why we don't get services. I don't think that we are in a higher ground than East Manhattan or downtown. We're all on the same level, but we function differently. We don't value our own self and our need. And this is why the government don't work on us. We always go out and vote. But what do you expect from the elected official? If you don't make the demand, you're just gonna fly free. You turn around 4 years and go back and vote for him. So I think one of the things that our community needs the most is complaining. Calling the 311, that's a vertical. I call that vertical complaint. When you call from up there, there's a track of it. And another thing that we were talking about last time was a rat infestation in the neighborhood. I mean, I was driving, my block, I'm suffering from it too. But nobody called. City don't. We have a what you call it, a riser now, somebody that can take care of those things. So I think please 311 is a very essential number for us. Having said that, I think we're gonna move on the agenda. It's not that much. Does anybody has anything we can discuss before we get to any old business?
Mr. Chairman, so I just want to let you know that as part of the work of this committee, and we understand that how important, before we move forward to representatives of the Department of Parks and Recreation, as promised by our Borough Commissioner for Parks and Recreation when she came and presented back in early April, I believe it was. She promised that she will come back quarterly to brief this committee and the board on the capital improvements made to the district parks. As parks and open space is extremely important emphasis to our district. You have open space has a lot to do with your mental health. Access to recreation can help deteriorate crime, and also it's a neutral space where our community, our young people can come together. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, we find the young people find it hard to interact with each other if you come from one area of the district versus another area of the district. And the parks has always, in my opinion, has always been that neutral space. Especially, I know that this committee has appreciated the commissioner's presentation. She came in April to talk about where we are with the capital improvements that was supposed to be happening at St. Mary's Recreation Center. St. Mary's Recreation Center has been essentially important not only to young people, but to our seniors who continue to use the space for aqua or swimming, aerobics, and also all the other activities, exercise. And we know that space was unfortunately deteriorating over a period of time, and we appreciate the investment that Parks and Recreation and our local elected officials were making into that space. And when she reported, unfortunately, we found that while the improvements were planned to make, I believe we were looking at the HVAC system, and from the HVAC system it went to something else that was inside there, and because that's a very old building, and unfortunately it was neglected, and no fault to the current administration, but for a long period of time, capitally, and so the investment was needed. But she understood that how important it is to get that space back online, because it means so much to not only this board, but to everyone. And so, and I'm glad that she has her trusted aide from her office that who just talked about longevity in city government, and who's coming to now report on capital improvement, because respectfully, that person is away on vacation. We want to get the most accurate, updated information about where we are capital-wise throughout all of our park open spaces. We have got some exciting new park spaces that have opened up in the district. Bankside Waterfront Park. There's been some improvements in Lozado. There's been some improvements in, like I said, the rec center, Green Emerald, which is St. Mary's Park, and some of our playgrounds. And so in not over laboring, waiting for the New York City Parks and Recreation representative to talk about some other essential projects and programs that her office is working on. We look forward to Commissioner Aponte at her very earliest convenience being able to come back and present, as she promised, to this committee and to the board on the status of capital improvements to our open space under the Department of Parks and Recreation. Mr. Chairman, I'll return the agenda back to you.
Thank you, Mr. DM. So we're just gonna move the agenda then the park recreation.
I do have some updates from Commissioner Ponte. These are verbal updates only on capital projects.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, for CB1 meeting this evening.
Okay.
Brook Park Community Garden, fence, water, and sidewalk reconstruction status in process as additional funds were allocated to the project in fiscal year 25 to construct an accessible concrete pathway through this Green Thumb Community Garden Park. This affected the construction timeline as the original scope of work only included fencing around the park, water supply, infrastructure, and portions of the street sidewalk. A new timeline is being determined, and that is Brook Park Community Garden.
Cool.
That's located on East 141st Street and between Brook and Willis Avenue.
Right.
Pontiac Playground. Design is done. The projects are currently in the permitting legal review phase, and we hope to have a registered bidder by the spring 2025. And that's Pontiac Playground again. Lozada Playground. In design, anticipated construction starts barring any unforeseen conditions, summer 2026. It needs all permitting, reviews, and to register a bidder prior to construction. Lozada Playground.
Can you also give the address when you do that so people can?
Okay, I don't have the address here, but I'll make sure we have the address for the next
Please.
meeting when we
Because sometimes
do
when you
present
picture
on
the area,
capital.
you can see exactly what.
Okay. For the St. Mary's Recreation Center, we are scheduled to present on the project status next month. Sharing that work progress is at 45%. Some of the work completed includes, but is not limited to, continued excavation for the elevator shaft, installing underpinning, ensuring to support brace the existing building walls in the excavated area. Asbestos abatement of the section of existing roof, change order work. Removal of section of roof at the elevator shaft. Tile installation for the men's and women's bathroom. And that's St. Mary's Recreation Center.
Can I?
I cannot answer any questions. If you have any questions, please email me, or you can send an email to any questions that you may have to what I just reported on. I'm just sharing what the commissioner wanted me to share with the board tonight. Also, I brought some additional information. I would like to share a guide to dogs in New York City parks. They are in English and Spanish, because we know we have a lot of dogs in this community boards and people don't pick up. So you will find this guide outlines rules and suggestions so that all New Yorkers can enjoy over 30,000 acres of parkland for exercising and recreating with their dog in designated off-leash areas or during off-leash hours in parks citywide. Sure.
For the record, I really would like to, I know you say you're not gonna answer any question, but at least you can hear our concern.
Yes, I can take your concerns.
So, my question, I mean, this cemetery has been, we almost forgot that it would exist. And my question is only 45% completed right now, right? What other obstacles we're gonna run into in the future? Because it seems, I thought by now they would have made an assessment where they could tell us that we found what needs to be done, what is needed, and we will be doing it in X amount of time. If you're gonna come here right now and tell us 45% completion, and don't give us that thing, I think we are into that open book again, where we have been taking, they're swinging us like a pendulum in our own house. That's what I think, that's what I feel right now on that cemetery situation. It's been over 3 years?
Yeah.
And they still have not been able to come in here and tell us that this is what, I mean, the 2 years ago, the excuse was that we run into a lot of obstacles that we were not prepared for, right? So for 3 years, nobody were able to find anything concrete that we're gonna do this at this time, we can finish it. And meanwhile, there are kids in this community that can be born, get 5 years old without even using a cemetery, not even swimming. And this is really a struggle for us. We're having the problem with that. We're having a problem. I think when the commissioner comes here, really, she's gonna have to answer those questions, because really, it's.
Well, I can sit with you after the meeting, and I can take any questions that you want me to take back to Commissioner Conti. So when she do come next month, she's well prepared to address all your concerns and your questions.
Very well said.
We could do that.
Yes.
That's fair.
Thank you.
So we listen, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Also, I would like to share again, have it here. Also, Commissioner Sue Donahue, earlier in June, she launched Vital Parks for all invested in New York City living infrastructure. And so, it listed what our parks are essential, and it tells us why and what is our plans. And so I'm gonna share this information with you. You can go online. I actually have it in English and Spanish as well. What makes a park system vital? A park system is vital when New Yorkers have access to green spaces that are clean and safe, alive and nature, people and community, and resilient to climate changes. Below, we've identified many of the elements that can contribute to a vital park system, which should be accessible to New Yorkers within a short walk or a quick transit ride. So you can visit our website, nyc.gov/vitalparks. And also, I'd just like to share, again, this is a copy, a special event permit application process, citywide special event office. Just like you make copies, I only put one. And here's our one pager with the QR code that you can go on for Vital Parks as well. I like to leave these flyers. That's all I have to present from the Commissioner's office. If you have anything else for me, would you like to share?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
So, thank you, for the brief update about, where things were. Are there only 3 capital projects for Bronx CV1?
I have to get back to you on that, Anthony.
Right, okay.
So,
Yeah,
or,
so to reiterate the points that you made about, St. Mary's, do you know how long the construction project has been going on?
I have to get back to you on that as well.
Okay, all right. So I will reserve the rest of my questions to like you said, for, or after you take back to the commissioner, so it can be answered at the
Right,
But
so-
45% is that you could talk about what you read, which is 45%
Right. this is
completion.
right. Yes.
With
Sharing that work progress is at 45%. Some of the work completed includes, but it's not limited to, continued excavation for the elevator shaft, installing, underpinning, or shoring to support brace the existing building walls in the excavated area. Asbestos abatement of a section of existing roof, change order work. Removal of section of roof at the elevator shaft. Tile installation for the men's and women's bathroom.
Thank you. Can we ask questions about the flyers you gave out, or you want to also reserve those until the end?
Oh, you can ask me.
So do you, given the fact that, where we are as far as the, how many, do you know where dog parks are in the district?
If you look into the brochure, it has an open part. You can go on, but if you want to know specific how many dog runs are in CV1, I can get back to you on that.
There's only one that I know of. St. Mary's by,
Yeah, St. Mary's has one.
yeah, there's one by the end of the park on the south side of the park. There's one there. That's the only one I've seen in this district.
And then when it says, the Vital Park piece that Commissioner Donahue is releasing, would it be a report at the end of or the deadline to submit the Vital, Park information?
I don't think so. Was you at the meeting when we presented at the borough president's office? We presented this
I'm not
summer, yeah, but I can get back onto you, but you can go on the website. The website is already up and is currently running. So you can go on the website to see the nearest park if you're looking to do, for example, you want to look for some fitness equipment, you will pull it up and it will let you know which park has fitness equipment. It will let you know a dog run. It'll let you know where you can go play pickleball. The website is up and running. And you can compare it with other boroughs. Because when you compare it, you'll see some parks don't have some of the amenities that we have in our Bronx parks.
Yeah. I think I think I was there, and I think we saw unfortunately that it was lower in our than it was in certain other parks. So I think I was at that presentation. I didn't know what the commissioner did. How the goal was to take this and be able to add some equity when it's this inequity in other boroughs and that enough equity. Was that something that
Right,
this was gonna do?
also, it's also designed because if we have vital parks, we have parks that have not received any capital funding, so it's saying like, we're trying to, like, instead of putting money to the same playground, elected officials, what maybe we wanna add, why not take some of this money and add it to a playground that's never had any capital, because we don't have a capital budget. And, a lot of our capital projects are mayoral funded or elected, from elected officials.
Let me make a lot of comment. I'm not trying to be difficult here, but I have a difficulty where when elected official tell us that oh, we're doing this to you, but some people don't have it. I found to me, I don't take that as being a very positive thing, because we are all supposed to have it. If you're giving it to me, try to make me appreciate it more because that person doesn't have it, that doesn't really, I think when we need what we deserve, what we need is what we need. So if there's a allocation of fund, anything to help our community, I like it to be done like if nobody else in the world is gonna get it. So I just don't want to look at it like what they're giving it to. What about those that what they have that we don't have? Which we always complain about it before St. Mary became what it is. Have you ever walked into that gym?
Mm-hmm.
The metal, all the bare metal are exposed. Go to 112th Street, 2nd Avenue. Walk into the gym there. You think you're in a private Planet Fitness, not a public. I'm talking when you walk in there, you forget that you are in a public park. The way they are equipped. We spend so many years with the bare metal, all the metal. Nothing is even covered. You can hear bang, 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 bang. You lifting things, and I mean, so I don't think that they should come to us and try to do something to act like they're doing us a favor. It is what has been long overdue to our community, and I think that our fight continues to be that we want us, we are taxpayers of this city, we expect to have an equal share of the fund. Not that they had to give a fund to us as if they were doing a favor to a particular group. No, we don't think so. We want to be equal. The same, because when we pay taxes to IRS or anybody, they don't say because you're in South Bronx, you could pay less of the money, and somebody on 96th Street should pay more money. No, we are equal. So let's get equal share of everything we can have. Nothing personal. I'm just this is how we this is how we. I just wanted to know that. I don't want you to think that. So no, it has nothing to do with you. This is just part of frustration that our community get. Because every time we get something, they're giving us something, it's like they're doing us a favor. It's not a favor. I think we need to, and I would see if it's possible when the commissioner come here next time, we'll review what conversation we had last time, what promise she made. Because we need to get that, a committee that review things that elected official walk in here and tell us. And then a couple of years down the road, they come back and say something else. We never verified the first thing that they told us, which they never deliver. I think this is going to make them, every one of them, being accountable for what they come into this board here and make a promise or make us feel good. And then we walk out of here, all business again. So that's my that's my way of looking at the way we've been treated. So I think that if anybody has anything, any comment, questions, please go ahead.
Thank you for your presentation, and the information is very vital. My question was, who oversees like the summonses and policies that are in place for the dogs, unleashed and
Park
pool
enforcement patrol.
park enforcement, not rangers?
The rangers can also issue summonses.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the difference between the rangers? Are they from the city or the state?
State.
They're city employees
They're all city from under the park.
under New York City Parks, yes.
But
But they're under urban park services.
now, let me just ask you, I'm just curious. If anybody here can prove me wrong, but how often have you seen those rangers in our park here?
Once in my lifetime.
Okay, so and this is part of those things that I think that make us create a frustration to us in this community when they're coming here and telling us these resources that are available for the city of New York. We only hear about it. I seen them a couple of times at Cortona Park.
And Van Cortlandt Park.
But oh no, Van Cortlandt Park. No, don't even mention. They sit there. They're sitting with, and the whole park is empty. You see them pull and sit. I mean, you literally see them there all the time. I've been there a couple of times. What do you call this? The fly high. You know those things that keep pull. Yeah, with my
The
lunch.
kites. The kites.
Yes, the kite. Believe me, they're all over the place. That's the only park they can hang out there.
Are you talking about the PEP officers or are you talking about the rangers? Because we have a nature center at Van Cortlandt Park. So if you're seeing the rangers engaged, they do programming. So you're probably seeing the rangers when they're doing their programming and they may be doing kites. I mean, they have all types of programming. So I think you see the rangers because we do have a Van Cortlandt Nature Center at Van Cortlandt Park.
That's probably I'm not educated.
You're seeing
So
the
I'm getting
rangers.
the two. Well, I'm really seeing them as being a resource. That's a resource that the city provide, and I don't see that in our area. That's my concern there.
Well, our closest nature center is here, is Cortona. But this summer, I can say is that the Rangers have been in St. Mary's this summer. They did like at least 3 big events. And I believe I shared that information with the community board to send the flyer out. So the Rangers have been doing programming this summer because this is one of the Commissioner Saponte's pet peeve is getting programming throughout the borough. Because when you see crime that's happening in our parks, because nothing is going on. When we bring programming, we get a group of people out there, then you start seeing crime going down. Just like, for example, I go out and I table throughout the borough, educate the people in the Bronx that these are the programs that we have happening here in our city parks here in the Bronx. Because like you said, people don't know. You have to educate the community. When you start educating the community, then they start getting involved. But this summer, the Rangers did 3 large-scale events at St. Mary's. And also there was a couple other city agencies that held events at the Jill Scott Amphitheater. So there was a lot that was happening this summer at St. Mary's.
That's great. I mean, like I say again, we need to get more education on those kind of risks. Like to me, I see all of them as park police.
I mean, what I can
So-
do for, moving forward, when we have these events, I would send them to your email and share that flyer with you so that you can see it and you can come out and you can bring your kids and oh, we got this happening. So moving forward, I will make sure I send you a copy of whatever flyers I share with the community board.
So please educate us the next time when you're coming on the difference between those of Power Ranger and anything else. I may not be the only one that see them have no clue who they are. You can only
I
appreciate
think
if you know
like
what it
you were
is.
explaining, the Rangers was engaging with the kids. They're the urban park rangers, and that's what they do. I mean, they do a lot. So,
So I think
like
if I may, I think the difference is that the chair is probably trying to iterate what is the difference between which a ranger
Bless
and
you.
a pep
PEP officers patrol the park, enforce our rules and regulations.
They're able
Making
to
sure
summons
that
and
people are
arrest.
not breaking the rules. They issue summons, they can make arrests, they have peace officer status.
Oh, cool.
Okay,
Rangers are
just for fun.
problematic, but it also are they considered peace officers also?
Yes, they have peace officer status too, but their focus is mostly in nature.
Hawks and
Hawk bird watching.
The trees.
They do like sleep. They have camps, sleepover. What they do so much. We just opened our new nature center at Orchard Beach. It is awesome. It's great. I was amazed. They actually caught what was in the aquarium from the beach, from the waters. So they do an array of activities.
Really?
And I could add, if I could build on with the chair, I think the line of question chair is going. When we look at, you said that programming is one of the things that
Commissioner Ponte
the
really
Ponte
pushed.
tries to. If programming it may deteriorate
We see it
crime.
have to,
in
you
the-
know,
in the
like the
area.
numbers of crime, because we have a comp stat that we get the numbers from NYPD,
Okay.
and we look at the crimes that happen, and we say, okay, well, we need to do something about this. Once we started adding program, we see that we don't have those crimes that's happening.
Right. And so I think where the line of question chair was going is that, are there PEP officers specifically responsible for public safety assigned to local parks in the district that you were of?
I mean, we only have a number of PEP officers, so there is no fixed post because they are actually covering the whole borough.
Right.
So we don't have that number of PEP officers to make it a fixed post where they are just assigned
So they go where there's activity.
to assign to one park.
What does PEP stand for?
Park Enforcement Patrol.
And I'm just, something I just want, the tennis court at St. Mary, right? What that is open to the public, right?
I'm gonna answer, and then if that's your question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I just wanted to know.
And Valerie, you want to add to that? So the community board has been working directly with our colleagues at Partnerships for Parks, which assists in the programming relating to the tennis program, because the chair, Chris Aliato, understands about the concerns of the board, where we were concerned whether or not our young people who are living in our district are accessing the programming that happens out of the tennis program. So we had a focused conversation on how do we make sure we drive as many young people to have access to using that space. We've been working very closely with board members, and that was shared, and with our local youth service organizations, Betanzas, some of our cornerstone youth service organizations, Classic Center, etc., to make sure that our young people and their loved ones understand how important it is when we want to see our young people in our schools involved in the tennis program that's happening there. Partnerships have been working with us to try to drive up registration as much as possible, and any special announcements or program that happens with that. I think there's something recently happened with tennis star athlete Serena Williams, and so that was built with the conversation. So yes, the community board is intimately engaged with the Parks Department, Partnerships for Parks, on that initiative to ensure that we drive up as much community board one young people into that program. I don't know if you want to add something to that, Valerie?
No.
Okay.
And I'm gonna follow up with it. And the reason I say that, because I'm a tennis player myself. I played a long time here in Akutana. Okay, but my concern, if we have those resources available, a child that is walking around that park will not be attracted to it only if he knows that he will be accepted. And the reason I say that, because I know a guy that comes there every summer. He has a key to the park. He opens Sunday morning. He brings a couple of women, which I'm sure they pay him to train them. Okay, when he's done, he locks the gate. And I'm very frequent in that park. We cannot be trying to get the kids involved, not bringing the kid into it. My suggestion would be, trainers should come from the community. Somebody that deal with Betances, for instance, to recruit the kids to come to the park and practice tennis. These are kind of sports that are very frustrating. When you've never done it, you always look at it from a distance. Until you hold the racket, that's when you feel that, oh, it's fun, I could do it. Now, if the kids are not exposed to the person in the community, they're going to tell them, come in here and play. No child is going to go tell mommy, I need a racket to play tennis. Because the way it's utilized right now, I find it to be very segregated, meaning where it's particular people that go in there, and I don't think I like it. I would have loved this summer to see that it's open like one Saturday. The kids would invite the kids in there, give them free racket temporarily to at least hit some ball, get a hang of it. Then next time they're gonna want to come in there. You only when the door is open, you see kids that go there with a scooter, which is not what it's supposed to be. It's because the door was open, they kind of go in. So I think that we need to develop a way to attract kids to get involved with it. When you go to Cortona Park, for instance, to Cortona Park, there is the tennis court, the program of tennis at the Cortona there is also expensive. Let me tell you, I took my grandson there. It's expensive. You have to really have 3 meals a day, enough to be able to afford a child to take a tennis lesson there. But when they came to get the permit to build that place, what they sold to the elected official was, this is a community affair. We're going to prioritize youth. That's not what's happening, and nobody's checking on that. Nobody is checking on that. I think any Bronx kids, especially living in a vicinity area, should be able to get a free lesson there. I say free because the guy that's running the program is getting a tax credit. 95% of people that practice there, they come from downtown. They have about 10 vans that pick up kids from the west and east side, bring there, they practice all year round. Our kids cannot afford it. And I think that we have to do something about it. Something has to be done. When I went there and I raised my voice there a couple of times, but it's only me. When you walk out of there, they close the door behind you. That's it. When they were getting that place, because I played tennis there when it used to be a clay court, then they turn into a hard court, all those things. But as soon as they bring those bubble, all those things, then everything changes. And no one is looking into it. And the kids in the community cannot play there because they can't afford it. It's very expensive. The same thing as 1-6 by Bronx Terminal Market. That's the same game. But when they were getting an application to the city to be given to the community to give them the go ahead, get a ticket for $1, get a tax abatement on that, they gave us all the good story about how it's going to benefit the community. But go there and see how many child from the community is playing tennis there. So these are the things that we're living through. We don't have anybody following up on the promise that was made. Then it becomes a business as usual. Meaning what? The parent figure that, oh, I can't afford it. But you go there, they have about 12 vans. I'm talking vans that pick up from all over the city. That place runs 24 hours, all year round. But you do not see a child coming from our neighborhood walking in there because I'm into the program. What kind of stuff is that? And I'm supposed to, in the park, for instance, the park department has this program where the youth, and I think youth under 16, correct me if I'm wrong, they can run program in the park, paying for any, like a soccer, all those things, right? But it's not applying for the tennis. It applies for the soccer, because I've been running a soccer program myself for kids in this city, in a Yankee Stadium for the past 12 years. So these are kind of things that we're living through, where they make promises. When they get what they want, they drop us like a bag.
I don't know if in reference to the tennis program, is New Yorkers Partnerships for Parks the only entity that, or can it be leased out through to the permit department, or that's something you want to come back with?
I need to come back on that because
Right.
I don't want to speak to, because I don't have an answer, so I'm gonna have to come back,
Sure.
get more information as far as, with the tennis.
So if you're gonna come back, do us a favor. Can you give us a statistic of how many community kids are involved at that park, at the Cortona Park? That will give us both.
Statistics, wait a minute, so you want statistics based on how many community kids is using
yes.
the tennis courts at Cortona?
On St. Mary's.
and St. Mary's?
Because I could say, like I say again, in the case of St. Mary's, unless I don't see it, but I just never seen past there and see any coach there with the young kids. Really, I could be wrong, but believe me, it's once you practice certain sport, you never pass next to it without looking. That is something that's a reflex that you always look and see who's in there playing what it is, unless you don't like that sport. But I have yet, and I run into that park a couple of times a week. I have yet to see that. So a program there where have kids lined up or practicing. I have not seen it. I only see adult. The guy that bring people in there, he train them. When he leave, lock the place. So
So in other words, you will want to see, I guess we would have to go to our permanent office and see who, our sports coordinator, to see how many permits was issued to run tennis programs at St. Mary's and Cortona.
community, yes. Again, the key word here is community.
Permitted.
The key word is here is a community. Somebody that came in under the name of community. Because anybody else pay for it. But the law, the park, I think there's a laws there that say that any program in the park under certain age are free. But we need to know how many kids we have statistically, or how many programs that are available being run in those areas under that particular program. Again, like I said, again, we see kids. You go there, you see kids a lot that come from New Rochelle or all those places. They get driven in, they take a lesson class and walk away. Then that's what it is.
Okay.
Huh. Well, I don't know if anybody has any question or any comment.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, does anybody before we break, so instead of doing emails, does anybody have any thing to add now to the district needs assessment discussion that you have already in your mind thought about, that are something specifically that you want the community to focus on? We are focusing on a couple of things, and then we're thinking that instead of this year, we're focusing on sanitation. So we know that we, especially along the East 149th Street, 3rd Avenue area, we're noticing that there's a need for additional, what we call big belly containers, because it is my professional opinion that while we have these garbage containers that are in along the commercial corridors or either here in the street, they're very small. And so there's a assistance, they get very full very easily. And so we are focusing, asking our elected officials to allocate resources to add, especially in very highly trafficked areas, that we have big belly garbage containers there that are on the district, especially on 149th Street and 3rd Avenue in our commercial district. We are focusing on the Alexander Avenue and in other areas that we want to increase lighting around. So we're asking as part of that, the New York City Department of Transportation to focus on areas where increased lighting can happen, and the necessary repairs are made in places where lighting has unfortunately been interrupted for whatever one reason or another. So we're focusing on that. We're asking to increase in areas where we can ensure where there needs to be road paving in certain parts of our district. So we ask that if you guys could identify, especially if someone who rides bikes at other places, so notice where there's some need for that. We're always asking for increased investment in our parks department to add more central spaces and essential parks workers, crew, or either PEP workers and others in areas around security in our parks. So we ask for cameras to be allocated in certain parks area. We ask for more crew members to be added to in our large Emerald Park areas like St. Mary's Park. And there are other things that we are focusing on, but I don't know if the chair wants to open the floor for folks who may have other ideas for us to add the district needs assessment. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Like city bikes, try to decrease the amount of city bikes that are taking over some of the areas without permission. They just one night they pop up and the next thing you know they're already constructed and they're putting the bikes in. Don't they have to give the community board or somebody a proposal or something when they come to the community?
So there is a big emphasis, especially when there was a talk about congested pricing, to add more alternatives to folks riding cars, adding these bikes to be added in certain areas. Even though the Bronx is gonna apparently, in my opinion, again, burden that proposal more than how we're just the pricing is going to be doing. Most people going to be parking or driving in the barrels. So there are a lot of bikes that unfortunately have taken over multiple parking spaces. There has not been the policy of the Department of Transportation to come to the community board. We have been. I'm a big fan, obviously, of community boards and the old days when nothing happened without community board input and approval. I'm not, and that's usually up to administrations, in my opinion, whether that's something that's always been accepted. I have a cordial relationship with our city agencies from time to time to get those issues focused on. I think most of the borough commissioners know me by name and by prayer. So that is, if there is something that you specifically see that you are definitely in, you've seen it take up a lot of the space, which is a fight for us, is definitely something I will make that as part of our recommendation and district need assessment. I don't know if anyone else.
So we should email you.
You can email me or the board about those ideas, and then I'll share those with the chair as those suggestions come through under certain committees, because the full board will have to pass it. So I want the chairs to understand what agency suggestions that they come about. Again, anything, more schools, more affordable housing, playgrounds, transportation, parks, hospitals, how they have a fire department, resources. This is a time where your DM is there in the trenches, making sure that whatever for the South Bronx is generally needed. Because I'm again an opinion of, I'd rather us tell the administration what we need and not them always tell us what they want to give us. Even though I love to get as much as we can, but I want us to be able to be decision makers of where our district is going and moving. And like I said, I'm always talking to someone about Community Board 1. Even in my sleep, I was told. But so
because you're the child of the community.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that, right?
That's it couldn't be anybody better than that. I mean, that's.
Thank you.
If Mr. DM, if you can say something in regard to the garbage, you asking for you want us to have a larger container, right?
Yep.
That's another problem right there. Mm-hmm. The question is sanitation doing what they're supposed to do? No. Sanitation came before this board in the past. They told us they have a 2 route a day just to empty those bins. Is by putting a big one, it's not going to resolve. It's just going to make our community look worse than what it is. So I think we need to go behind sanitation to really fulfill the obligation. They have one truck that goes around twice in the neighborhood, twice a day, just to empty those
receptacles.
Right. That's what we were told by them. So we can bring them back here again, so they can repeat that before us. That's another thing that I keep saying. We need to start checking back on promises they come here and make to us at the end of the year, where we write, say, hey, you told us A, B, C, D. We did a fact finding, you're not doing it. Because when they come in here and sit in front of us and tell us things, we say, oh yeah, thank you. They walk out of here, they go do something else. In terms of those garbage, they're supposed to be empty, especially on Bergen. There is Bergen by the pizza shop. That's the worst.
Yep.
That's the worst. Drive past there on a Monday morning. every other day. The one by Bergen, right down the corner, one from Bergen at the bus stop, that's the worst in this area. And the reason I make this emphasis, because I passed through those places. There's also one 49th Street on Southern Boulevard by Congress Pharmacy there. There was a time here where sanitation was having somebody stage on a corner of those garbage to see somebody walk out of the house and drop a garbage in. They give them a sum, right? That didn't fly. I mean, they dropped, but that was the idea is not to catching somebody. The problem is that sanitation has a crew that goes around to empty those bins twice a day, we were told. It has nothing to do with the regular one that pass 3 times a week. No, this one is strictly passing those places, empty them. That's all we need to do. We don't need to put a big bin on the corner of the street and then end up it's going to fill up and then it create more problem in the neighborhood. So to my opinion, that's what we need to do. Go after the sanitation.
I want to add if I can before you. I think Mr. Chairman, and I take that definitely into consideration. We are all the office of the emphasis too that we believe not only resources but education. I don't know, maybe I'm a little older than you, maybe, but it's just
have a gray hair and a hat, you know? See that?
But to say that Mom used to always say, you drop down the floor, you get reprimanded, and you put that in your pocket until you get to peace or a space. And so we believe education, along with what you're saying, is adding resources, but actual education, to educate the community and making sure that our partners have the resources they need to do what they said they're going to be doing. So yes, Chairman, I agree with you, but and adding that the resources, because we just believe that only reason why we're talking about adding more, because then there's no excuse. If you have it there and you're not using it, or you're oversaturated, or you're dumping illegal dumping, it's because we understand now there's a big emphasis of illegal dumping. I see that 311 complaints all the time with pictures of a lot of 311 illegal dumping is happening because we have a lot of street vendors. Some unfortunately are not licensed, and so it's hard to follow up about who is dumping whatever anywhere. And so it's adding what you're saying. We believe that education, by not only you as an individual, but if you see something, say something, as far as making sure that we all take accountability even more. I get emails from you often with pictures too. Yeah, they're very good. That talks about what we should be focusing on. So I appreciate that, and I ask that if any of you guys are also have those things that you want to emphasize as important district needs assessment stuff, like your chairman has done, is to please add pictures to your email. It will help to give a clear understanding about why this is important. Because again, the full board has to pass this district needs assessments. It's just not me writing it and putting it out there, because it's all of our vision and all of our hopes and dreams and mission for this community. But again, I thank you, Mr. Chairman, for adding that as part of my thinking process.
Okay, any comment? Anything I wish I think we're probably gonna need to bring the sanitation back sometime in the future.
Well, Commissioner Chish did, and her team did, were very open to the idea of touring district to talk about our concerns. We are all of the belief that where you live, if it's clean, or as much as possible, it also has a lot to do with your mental health.
Of course.
It has a lot to do how others perceive your community, how you perceive your community, how often people visit your communities for respite or for other reasons that hopefully drives up economic development or visit our parks. So we are all talking about this, about sanitation as much as possible. And so I'm excited about the possible to keep this committee abreast on when Commissioner Tish schedule does accommodate, hopefully before it gets too chilly outside to be able.
It's not going to be just about 2 minute visit, is it?
No, with the commissioner,
No.
Her team has promised that she will give us the time that needed to be able to really talk about where we are. So we need to let's point out some of the hot spots that we want to focus on. One of the things like I said, as a fierce advocate of this community board, is to be able to talk about resources. Unfortunately, because of budget cuts foreseen, a lot of what happens is that we have a deteriorating workforce, or sometimes we can't convince people to come to work for the city. It used to be a time where city job was the move. Everybody would still get one right away, but unfortunately, either budget cuts or people are not interested. For whatever happens, if the positions are not being filled, and so that's why we have to do very progressive things to try to make sure. So that's why I'm adding education. If you say, hey boy, pick that up, there's no. Hopefully, you get somebody who's old school enough to say no problem, so I'll get that, or versus whatever else is out there. But again, Commissioner Tish understands that how important it is for us. She plans on coming out to tour.
You get me more when you talk to this community. Let me just bring something to your attention.
Yes, sir.
Jackson Avenue on 149th Street. How can you? I think there's a systemic problem somewhere. I don't see this downtown. Jackson Avenue, that building, I don't see Jackson Housing, right? The garbage is at the entrance. The beautiful garbage.
And furniture.
In front, it's in front of it.
On Nitro Development?
Yes. Yep. Again, I could be seeing things wrong. This new development right behind 149th Street. I was passing there right now. You know where they drop the garbage? At the main entrance. My question is, I don't see this on building downtown. Did they just build this about 4 years ago, right? Why the designated area of garbage is in our entrance where we come from work, people come from work and pass through before going in. Are you not going to tell me that there is a problem? There is a problem. Because you don't see downtown any building that they put a garbage in front of it. You can't even deliver past the entrance of the building. You understand me? You're talking about where you live has to be clean. But the system also is making our system not to be mentally clean. I'm a very against systemic complaint. But this is one that I can tell you is a systemic thing, that we have to speak about this kind of thing. New building, the garbage get dropped in front of it where we all come in, go in and out, right? There is a street right behind it. The garbage could be put there, where people at least can come in and feel comfortable and feel like they're into their own home. But why is it that the entrance in the back, the garbage cannot be put in the back where the truck pick it up from there? It doesn't happen. So is it because we don't say anything that this continue happening to us? That's my way of looking at it, honestly, because we don't seem to be realizing that these kind of things affect our own health. Summertime with the heat and the garbage not being picked up, you get off the bus or a taxi come and drop you in front of the Jackson right there, bang, and I'm passing there. I mean, the smell. But it's at the entrance of the build development, about 250 apartment. They could have that in the back of the building. The truck can go around. In fact, there's a circle around. The truck can go out back there and pick up the garbage. So if we don't say anything, this is going to continue happening to us. So I think we need to take the responsibility of our own self and start speaking out. We've been quiet for too long, and I think it's about time we try to make a drastic change. If you can't try to accommodate your own self, I don't know who else will do it for you. They're just going to say that, hey, you're happy with it, just live with it. So I think we need to start from there, Mr. James. Because I'm really, it really bothered me that I see this all the time in front of the project in the Bronx, where the pit for the garbage is always at the entrance, but somewhere else it's in the back of the building.
And that can start with a campaign, because I think that to add what you're saying, Mr. Chairman, is that one of the things that the committee here that handles economic development and housing, what we did is we have a very extensive application now, process of people who want to bring developments into our district to ask those questions in the beginning before we approve new developments that are coming up.
Right.
Under this new leadership, which you're the chair of, vice chair of, is that we are now going to be asking developers going forward and educate the people who currently are in our district of the process that we're taking to take away those unfortunate eyesores, the situations you're talking about, and we can ask those questions as it relates to how we want to see our district progress going forward. Unfortunately, some things have been normalized, and agreeing with what you're saying, we have to move past that normalization of things that have been okay. It's okay to see this. It's okay to that's South Bronx, or that's this or that. That's no longer under this leadership and this administration and this DM acceptable, allowable, because like you are alluding to, we want to see our district moving towards where we see other communities outside of this community go towards focusing on making smart decisions and recommendations and requirements, or standards. I think that for a long time that has not been the practice, and so I'm glad that under your leadership and Chairperson Perez, Freddie Perez and Chris Aliato, that we're moving towards making sure we ask the smart questions and needed questions to ensure that hopefully through education, through finding, when you hit them with the pocket, you make that we're going to be moving towards a smart way to cleaning up and making our district more desirable by not only our self-serve, but by folks who visit and work here. So I thank you for your leadership.
So, any other questions? Because we can keep going. I think we really have to be conscious of our activities. That's all I'm saying. We can't expect somebody else to make a decision for us when it comes to those things.
Yes, sir.
So I think if we start from here, start fighting the city against those things, I don't think that the developer decided the garbage is going to be in the front there. I don't think the developer decided that. I think these are poor decisions made by chances by either the building management, because they're looking at the recycling. I mean, the garbage truck passing through the front. And I remember Ms. Tish, the commissioner, said that the garbage will be picked up now before 2:00 in the morning. So we don't have it. Remember that?
Yes.
So
by law, they have
by law,
put at a certain time.
Yes. That we could not put garbage out before 8:00 any longer.
Right.
So it has to be by 8:00. So by midnight, 1:00 it's picked up.
Yes, sir.
I'm just seeing a garbage in front of my house coming back from work. It's just sitting right there. Now, is this applying downtown or up here?
It's supposed to be a citywide.
Citywide, it's supposed to be, right?
Yes.
So somebody's sleeping. I think the Bronx Commission is not.
Yeah, but there's a new regulation that's coming out that you have to have containers.
Yes.
If you don't have the containers, you get the $50 fine, $100 fine.
You know how much is a container?
I know, and that's one of the situations, because I have a homeowners association, and to put containers out there, even the ones that we have inside our gate, people steal them.
What?
Yeah, they steal. They come in your
thing.
gate and they steal them.
Yep.
I have, we have to put like a little chain, so to put a container outside and to put our garbage in a container. What do you chain? What are you going to chain?
And if you chain it, somebody cannot pack and get hurt passing by.
Exactly.
It's going to be out of your
and
house.
then you're
going to be
liable.
sued.
You're liable.
This is going to be a tough situation.
So that's one of the questions that the homeowners, because I have a homeowners associate where I'm at and Habitat for Humanity on the other side.
Mm.
So, we like up in arms, they gave us the free compost ones, they gave everybody that, to put out. They're not looking at that. They're looking for the big 55-gallon containers.
$60.
Yeah.
Yep.
$60. I just
From the
ordered
city.
one.
Yeah.
We have DSNY will be at the next full board meeting
Right.
to talk about that policy and definitely I'm sure we invite you to talk about the importance of what's the impact that you experience as a homeowner.
It's expensive,
Unfortunately, we also had a city that's been oversaturated with rodent.
Yeah, I agree.
So the powers that be at the time were being creative about how to be able to mitigate that. And I get that it is difficult for you to, as a homeowner, to put your thing out and then get up in time enough to pull it back in.
Yes, and then I don't know the regulation is the truck gonna come and pick it up. It's a whole bunch of,
So,
you know,
so
stuff
the
we don't
deputy
know.
director for government affairs will be at our meeting on the 26th,
So
which we're planning to have it. My understanding is our La Central YMCA right
Okay.
here on Westchester Avenue.
It's
You'll
down the
you'll
block
get to
from
do
you.
here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
so we won't be putting the plastic bags in anymore.
Yeah, you put it in the plastic bag, but inside the
Right.
To
container.
keep the rats out of the
We
bag.
do that anyway because
We
we
already
have one.
doing
That,
it.
yeah,
We're already doing it.
But no more bags on the street. That's what they're saying.
right. That's
Containers
fine, you know,
are-
because we already have the containers inside our gates.
They must have a
But,
special
yeah.
truck that's gonna be lifting up
That's
this
yeah,
way.
that's what.
because-
Well, we're not sure. We're not sure what the
Yeah,
regulations
I
are.
think I read some article that they're retrofitting the
Mhm.
truck to be able to.
Yeah, they're not gonna lift it. They just gonna.
Yeah, so it can in the other city. Actually, it comes out, it turn around. You know the way the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
commercial
the
garbage.
big guy. Yeah.
I think they probably
Yeah, but
they
it's
say
like
they're retrofitting to do the same thing. But let's wait and see. Go ahead, man.
Mr. Parks Chair, if you don't have anything else for New York City Parks,
Yeah.
I will be exited. And
Thank you so
I hope
much.
I was able to answer your questions and share information to the best of my ability. I will get back to you, you know, what you're asking for when the commissioner comes. You know, you can have more information, but I just want to share with the community board what for tonight, what she has.
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Best regards to Commissioner Pong.
I definitely will tell her. And I will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow,
Mr.
Valerie.
Chair.
with the shakedown meeting. No,
Is there gonna be another shakedown?
No. no.
Nice meeting you guys, and I look
Always
for
We'll
your
make
article.
motion to adjourn.
Permission to adjourn. I order the Jesus.
Any discussion?
All in favor?
Yeah, in favor?
I.
She said no.
Camera.
All right.
John?
Oh, you recording?
Yes.